Hey friends, this is part 4, I think, of our series of women in the book of Acts. Today we are talking about Lydia, who is a dealer of purple cloth. Our Bible that we're reading out of today is slightly different because I wanted to use some of the Greek in today's kind of mini Bible session. And we're starting in chapter 16 of Acts. This is verse 11, and then we'll jump around a little bit. This is Paul and whoever was with Paul at the time, set sail from Troas and took a straight course to Samothrace, following the day in Neapolis, and from there Philippi, which is a leading city of the district of Macedonia and a Roman colony. We remained in the city for some days. On the Sabbath day, we went outside the gate by the river, and where we supposed there was a place of prayer, and we sat down and spoke with a woman who had gathered there. A certain woman named Lydia, a worshiper of God, was listening to us, and she was from the city of Thyatira and a dealer in purple cloth. The Lord opened her heart to listen eagerly to what was said by Paul. When she and her household were baptized, she urged us, saying, "If you have judged me to be faithful to the Lord, come and stay at my home." And she prevailed upon us. A few things. There is a word here that occurs only once in this whole Bible, and all of the Greek. This word only occurs one time. I want you to take a second, maybe pause the video, guess what you think it is. Maybe you can write in the comments down below, and I'll show you. It's this word. It's kind of going to be hard to see, but I think, yeah, there we go. There's that part, and then here's the second part of it underlined. Yeah, there we go. I have to get back to my notes. This is polosis, I believe. Basically, it is a purple cloth and a dealer, someone who exchanges it or sells it for money. And that's what Lydia is doing. This is a position that had a lot of wealth and power and prestige. Purple cloth was exceedingly rare because it was made out of snail mucus. There's a whole other story I can do on purple cloth some other time. I actually might have talked about it already in one of these videos that I did. Lydia is notable for a few different reasons. One, she has a fair amount of wealth if she's a dealer in purple cloth. Two, she has the capacity to host the disciples, which means either her husband is very understanding or she is a widow and owns this business as a result. The other thing that's notable is that she is the first European convert to Christianity, or at least the first one that we have any record of here in the Bible. And as descendants of Europeans, it's kind of an interesting thing that we all kind of trace our lineage through Lydia, this first Christian. We can tell later on that Lydia is important because she's also, I believe, mentioned in verse 40. So after Paul escapes from prison, he goes to Lydia's home. And then they said, when they had seen and encouraged the brothers and sisters there, they departed. This is actually very similar to that story we told last week about Mary, mother of John Mark, and Rhoda, the slave girl of Mary. Go ahead and watch that one. There's a lot of echoes of this story in that story where St. Paul escapes from prison and then goes to the house of this prominent woman, this woman who's willing to host him, this woman who is able to advance the cause of Christianity in the area by converting to Christianity herself and then her whole household, and then hosting those early saints. Without Lydia, there's a decent chance that something could happen to St. Paul. Without Lydia, there's a decent chance that the gospel doesn't get spread in the same way that it does. At least in this area that they were traveling in. She's incredibly important. That's, again, the reason why she is named in the book of Acts. No one's named here in the Bible on accident. Everybody that's named has an intent and has a purpose. And Lydia's purpose was, in that time, to host these disciples. And she did a wonderful job at it, which is part of the reason that we have so many Europeans who are Christians today. In case you were curious, I believe her feast day is on January 27th, and we recently read this story in our lectionary cycle, so that's why you might have heard it before. I hope you enjoyed this video on Lydia. Next week, we're going to talk about a woman you might not have heard of, Damaris the Areopagite.